Question asking, what does a landlord do after a tenant vacates or moves out of the property? Could be from a sheriff's lockout or otherwise, and they abandon a vehicle. Hi, my name is Rob Wells. I'm the landlord boy on TikTok and YouTube. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to our videos. Now, we do come across this situation a lot. Particularly with tenants that have been evicted by a sheriff's lockout. They may leave vehicles behind, and this would be applicable too if a tenant voluntarily moved out and they abandoned the vehicle on the property. So, how a landlord can handle that in California is pursuant to California Vehicle Code 22658. The person that has lawful possession of private property can cause the vehicle to be towed, subject to certain conditions. Okay, generally speaking, when we talk about this vehicle code section, it's basically a private owner's ability to have a vehicle towed off the premises. Okay, and this also is code section can be allowed too. If you are entitled to possession of the property. So, for example, if I go park in front of someone's driveway, blocking them in, they can be towed basically. So, in the situation where a tenant vacates, or they leave a vehicle, for example, after they've been form their tenancy's been terminated, you can tow the vehicle code. You can tow the vehicle pursuant to this vehicle code section. Couple of different scenarios, right? We'll go over the most common ones. So, single family homeowners, pursuant to vehicle code section 22658, subdivision A4, you have a right under the vehicle code to have that vehicle towed. Okay, there's certain conditions that need to be made, including that the operator of that's going to tow the vehicle is actually going to impound the vehicle. Okay, there's certain requirements in the vehicle code about storage of a vehicle and so forth. And many municipalities have a tow company that just impounds vehicles. So we have one in town, and I recommend my owners, contact them because they meet all the requirements of storing the vehicle and so forth. And eventually, a vehicle that's not claimed, usually it could be disposed of by like a lien sale. The landlord themselves can't really dispose of the vehicle because with vehicles in California, they have titles. So, your common, hey, you could just throw the vehicle away or keep it, that type of deal. You're going to have issues with that because you're going to have to be able to register the vehicle and so forth. For apartment owners, couple of different scenarios. Okay, so there are situations like if you're in an apartment complex, right? You may actually have common areas that are under the control of the landlord. You think of your parking spaces, that type of deal. These owners, depending on their scenario, the most common ones are the apartment complex has contracted with a tow company to impound vehicles that are improperly parked. Under the vehicle code 22658 subdivision A1, they can actually have signage at the entrances of their parking lot saying, hey, if you park in an unauthorized manner, that etc., you're subject to tow. That's one way that vehicles can be towed if they're left in an unauthorized manner. The second method that can be done for that type of situation would be pursuant to the vehicle code, you can give a parking citation and provide 96 hours notice that the vehicle will be towed, if it's not moved, so forth. So the big important thing is making sure that you hire a tow company that will comply with all code section, all the requirements of storage of the vehicle pursuant to the vehicle code. So, and that's typically, your impound lots, that type of deal. So, landlords, if you're facing a situation where you might need to remove a vehicle and you're in the Northern California area and you have questions about this, feel free to reach out. We might be able to help out. Put your comments, questions down below. Until next time, folks, I'll talk to you then. Thanks.